My name is Kim. I am the founder of Brainy Girl, and we help course creators get their courses online and into the hands of their buyers. Every Thursday, or the first Thursday of every month, I do a live Q&A so that anyone can ask me questions about marketing, about courses, about online education business in general. And I hop in here and give you my best replies to help you get unstuck and keep moving forward. So, what do we have here? First of all, I'm going to drop a link in. Let me see here. I'm going to drop a link in the comments with. So that's the link to submit questions. If you're on my email list, you'll get a reminder with that link as well. And so I welcome as many questions as you would like to ask. So let's start with the first question today. So I got a lot of really, really good questions. Really excited about this. Okay, this is from Juske. Juske. Hello, Kim. I just watched a video from you from 5 years ago called How to Use an External Sales Page with Thinkific. Great tip that you show us in that video. So let me just I'll show you that in a second. I was wondering if you can show us what the student experience is when I would use this method. How do you get to the course page when they want to start the course? And what if they are returning customers who already have an account and want to sign up for a second course? All right. Do they see a dashboard with all the courses? All right, let's take this one step at a time here. Student experience, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, perfect. So let's do a screen share here. Perfect. So this is the blog post that Juske is talking about. And in it, I give you a little piece of code that you can use so that you can have pages, your landing pages, sales pages, opt-in pages, etc., on your website. And then what you want to do is put this code into the course page code so that if someone clicks on your course card, they are redirected to that page, whatever page that is, usually a sales page of some kind. So this was what I used for years in order to redirect, because I don't use Thinkific as for my landing pages. I use my website for all of those. And this kind of melds into the next question as well. So we'll look at that. Let me just stop sharing for a second. And I'm going to read the next question because it ties right in. I'm only using my Thinkific website and page. This is from Katie. I'm only using my Thinkific website and pages created on Thinkific, not putting it on a place like Squarespace. Can you tell me more about how it looks to sell, build, and get clients to do my courses built on another site? I'm only familiar with building a website on Squarespace. More about how it looks to sell, build, and get clients to do my courses built on another site. Okay, so yeah, I think this ties right in here. So the first thing I would say is I don't actually recommend that you use Thinkific's landing pages, so like their sales pages, their homepage for your courses, if you already have a primary website. And the reason for that is you do not want to send some traffic to your Thinkific site. And by traffic, I mean people, some traffic to your Thinkific site and some to your website. You want to send all of your traffic to your primary website if you have one, because it will help you in the Google search rankings. The more traffic you have, Google looks at that. And I mean, there's 200 factors that Google looks at to see where you're going to rank when someone searches for a search term. And Google gives them different pages and different websites to go to. You want them always going to your primary website if possible. And that's for the traffic purposes. But it's also for the fact that if you already have a primary website that is branded, that has a particular style, you're never going to be able to do that exact thing with your Thinkific pages. You can get pretty close. We get pretty close with clients, but they're different platforms, so they're not going to look exactly the same. So let's start by let's actually, I'm going to do a screen share here and let's look at my own site, which is a great one to look at for an example. So this is my website. This is built on WordPress. So this is a WordPress site, but this could be a Wix site, a a Weebly site, a Squarespace site, any of those as your primary website. Mine just happens to be WordPress. Okay. So if you go to my Thinkific site, which is, let's go here, learning.brainygirlu.com. Okay, if you just type that in, which is my Thinkific site URL, and you press enter, you're going to be redirected and you're going to always end up on my website. So here we are on my website. So a couple of things, Juice asked, if you redirect them to like a sales page on your website. So I'm kind of bouncing here because these questions are kind of similar. So this is my Online Course Creator Academy sales page on my WordPress website. It's not on my Thinkific site. Okay. So if they go here, let's go into an incognito window because this will be better because I'm not logged in. So someone's here on my WordPress website on my Online Course Creator sales page, and they go down to the pricing section right here. And they say, yeah, I want access to that. When they click on this button, it actually takes them over to the checkout on my Thinkific site. So if we do this, you'll see here, you've changed sites. You don't know you've changed sites, but you've changed sites. You just went from my WordPress website over to my Thinkific checkout. So I use Thinkific for the checkout, for managing students, for hosting courses, delivering certificates. I use Thinkific for all that, but I keep all of my landing pages on my own website for the reasons that I just shared. Okay, so that's what happens when you go to a sales page on my website. And you can get that link by going to pricing in your course, clicking on copy link beside the pricing, and then putting that link here. That will take them over to the checkout for that course on your Thinkific site. So that's how they would sort of get to my Thinkific site from my course sales page on my website here. Okay. So let me just go back to the question for a second because I want to make sure that I am covering everything. So let's go back to Juice's question. And I was wondering if you can show us what the student experience is when I would use that method. Yes, I can. So let me just I brought up a couple of these pages here just so I could show you. Okay, so let me do a screen share here. Okay, so this is not a typical student dashboard. I've customized my student dashboard using one of Rob Galvin's power-ups called Side Nav. Okay, and I actually have 2 student dashboards depending what they're enrolled in. So if you are not enrolled in my Course Creator Academy, but you're enrolled maybe in my free resource center, this is the dashboard that you would see. Okay, very little, book a call, visit website. You can go into this course if you enroll, or you could go into this course if you are enrolled already. If you are one of my members of my Online Course Creator Academy, it looks very different. Gives you all the courses that you have access to here. It gives you different learning paths, mini courses, challenges, topic-specific tutorials. There's links to join my online community, my upcoming member events, submit a question. And again, this is all for members. So even though my dashboard looks a little bit different, it's the same idea. In that, if someone clicked on a card, now I have this set up because I'm using Rob Galvin's Power Up for this. I have this set up so it completely bypasses the course sales page. Okay, because if they're already enrolled in it, I don't want them to go to the course sales page. I want them to just go right into the course. So if I click on this, I'm going to go right into the course and be able to start learning, right? If I go back to my student portal, I'm going to be back in my dashboard and I can go into a different course or choose a different link or whatever I'm trying to do here. So one of the questions is, how do they get to a student dashboard if you are redirecting them to a sales page? So let's go back to my sales page here. So let's go into incognito. There we go. So typical visitor visiting my website goes to my core sales page or my member sales page for this thing. There's no header at the top and there is no footer at the bottom. There is just a return to homepage, which would take them to the homepage of my website. That homepage is also the homepage of my Thinkific site. So I redirect my homepage on my Thinkific site to my homepage on my website. All right. So if they go here, how do they get into the course? Well, they wouldn't get into the course if you're going to use this method and you're going to use the code that I've given you here. You are definitely going to want to make sure there is somewhere on that page that has a student login button. Okay. But that being said, up here above the video on that blog post, I would encourage you to use this Swiss power up. So this is another one of Rob Galvin's power ups, which just increases the functionality and the usability and the engagement and the design of your Thinkific site. So Swiss power up is one of these. So here's what I do now. Instead of using that code, because that code means I can only redirect to one page. Okay. What I use is the Swiss power up right inside my site page here. And I use what's called redirect. What that means is if someone is enrolled in this challenge, this is the page they will see. Okay. Name of the challenge, a little bit about it. And when they click on member access, they go into the course. If they're already enrolled. If they're not enrolled, it redirects them to my Online Course Creator Academy sales page. So you can set this up so that people who are enrolled in the course see one thing, people who aren't enrolled in the course get pushed over to your sales page. Okay. So that's a really good thing because you're not just redirecting to one sales page now, which ideally should not have a header and a footer on it. Okay, let me stop sharing. And I'm just going to go back over. So show us what the student experience is. When would I use that method? Okay, we've covered that. How to get to the course page when they want to start the course. So as soon as they enroll in the course, they are taken into a default Thinkific page that just says, hey, Kim G, thanks for signing up or something like that. Thanks for enrolling. Click here to get your receipt or click here to start learning. So that would take them into the course. And then you would also have a course welcome email, ideally a student onboarding sequence, but at least a course welcome email that would give them the link to log in. So there's a couple of different places. Also, let's go back to my website here. Let's go here. So this is the home page of my website. And again, let's go into an incognito window. So if you notice, when I start scrolling, you'll see a navigation bar here. And I have student login right at the top. Because I have my Thinkific pages redirecting back to my website, I do need a place for students to be able to log in. So right at the top of my own website, I have a student login button. And if they click that, they go over to my Thinkific site to log in and continue on. All right. So definitely you're going to want to make sure that you have some kind of student login button or link or something like that so that they can log in. If they lose that email or delete the email or whatever, they can still get into your courses. So if you're redirecting pages from your Thinkific site to your website, definitely make sure that you have that student login button prominent on the site, or that they know where to find it. Okay. If they are returning customers who already have an account and want to sign in for a second course, do they see the dashboard with all the courses they're enrolled in? Yes, they see all the courses. If you're a student, let's say you're a student of mine and you log into your dashboard, you'll see all the courses that you have enrolled in. A typical standard default Thinkific student dashboard would have any courses or communities they're enrolled in. If you have multiple courses at the top of your dashboard, if you're using Thinkific's default dashboard, you probably want to have an all courses tab that leads to your all courses page so that they can see what else you have to offer. But again, if you have a lot of courses or you have a membership, I would seriously look into Rob Galvin's Side Nav Power Up because it's a game changer as far as what you can do with your student dashboard. Okay, so Katie had asked about only using my Thinkific website and pages created on Thinkific. Can you tell me more about how it works, looks to sell, build, and get clients to do my courses built on another site? So I can't tell you what it's like to have students do courses on another site because I only use Thinkific for hosting my courses, managing my students. There are other sites like Squarespace, I know offers the ability to build courses and I think membership now on your Squarespace site, but I can't really speak to that because I don't use it and my clients don't use it. But hopefully you've got a good idea, Katie, about using an external website for all your front-facing landing pages and then using Thinkific to host your courses, manage your students, etc. All right, I hope that is helpful. Let's go down to the next one. This is from Amy. Is there a way to use ScreenPal, which used to be called Screencast-O-Matic, in which you can have a script to follow as you talk and record your face and presentation at the same time? The answer is a resounding yes. My dashboard might look a little bit different than yours for ScreenPal, but let me show you this. Let me see if I can find my particular window here. Okay, let's do this. And hopefully you guys can see this. So this is my ScreenPal or Screencast-O-Matic dashboard where I work from. And if you click here on story, you can see, how do you want to start your story? I want to start with a storyboard or I want to start with a script. So start with a script, then record your video with script prompts for easy step-by-step recording. Click on start with script and then just walk through the steps here. So you can paste in your your different scripts that you want to use. So you basically put like, here's what I want to use for this script. Here's any notes for this section. And then you've got your actions over here. So add a transition, et cetera, et cetera. So yes, you can absolutely script and then you can run the script while you're recording. Okay. So that is absolutely possible with ScreenPal. All right. And I think the last question we have here is from a different Katie, spelled differently. I know the person who I want to serve. I'm just not certain about how to serve them. I have a podcast that is doing fairly well, and in it, I encourage people to join my free Facebook group. I'm struggling to get interaction there, and I think it's a combination of me feeling uninspired to keep trying to encourage interaction and people not joining. I'm not sure what to try next to interact with my people so I can learn more about who they are, what they want, what they need, etc. Okay, this is a great question. So you have a podcast that's doing fairly well. So if it's doing fairly well, that tells me that you are talking about topics that are interesting to your audience. So you already know some of what makes your buyer persona tick because they're coming from your podcast into your Facebook group. This is where like a simple funnel would work really well, and I would implement it as soon as possible. Here's what I would do. So you have this podcast, and I'm assuming that you probably have the podcast on your website as well as maybe Apple or iTunes or other podcast platforms. So what I would do is you say, I encourage people to join my free Facebook group from my podcast. So that is a good strategy, except that you don't own Facebook. So what that means is someone can come into your Facebook group and leave your Facebook group, and you have no ability to really nurture that relationship at all, except for what you're doing in Facebook. So um, I very strongly believe that email list is very, very integral to growing any kind of business. So what I would be doing is I would actually send them from your podcast to a specific page on your website, which says, hey, thanks for listening to my podcast. Want to join the free Facebook group, plus get this free, whatever it is, some kind of lead magnet, download, cheat sheet, checklist, something that you think that they would really enjoy getting. Put in your name and email below to get it and get an invite to the Facebook group. So before they get to the Facebook group, you're collecting their email. Okay. So you have that email form on there, and ideally it's hooked up to your email marketing service provider, ConvertKit, ActiveCampaign, whatever you're using. So that form is tied right in. So they come to this page from your podcast. They say, yeah, I want to join the free Facebook group and get that free whatever thing it is that you're giving them away. You're giving away to them. They put in their name and email, and the thank you page then. So the next page they get to after they put in that information would be a thank you page, right? You haven't mentioned whether you're selling anything, so I'm not going to try and add that in here. But I would take them to a thank you page that says, great, that thing is on its way to your inbox right now. You never want to give it to them on that page because you want to train them to open your emails. And click on the button to join our Facebook group, right? So you've gotten their email ahead of time. And now on the thank you page, you say, go check your email to get that free thing and click here to join the Facebook group. So that is a good way to start your list building. Okay. So that first email that goes out to them, hey, Kim, thanks so much for listening to my podcast. It's really cool to be able to connect with you in a different way. If you didn't join the Facebook group, here's the link to do that. Here's your free thing that I said I was going to give you, maybe some benefits of this free thing or how to use the free thing. You might want to talk to them a little bit about the Facebook group. This could even be a video embedded in your email just to start to build that relationship a little bit more rather than text. Get on a video and tell them these things. So you've got this, this welcome email that goes out. Okay. Just send that. There's your free download. Here's your invite to the Facebook group. And then maybe 4 hours later, or maybe even the next day, I would be sending an email that said something like, hey, Kim, I hope you really enjoyed or got great value out of that thing that I sent yesterday. And I hope you've been able to join our Facebook group where we do this, 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 and this. But I didn't ask you anything about yourself. And I would love to know more about you. Would you answer these 4 questions for me? And I would have a form there that you could ask them those, really relevant questions. What's your biggest challenge, or what's your biggest struggle? If you could snap your fingers, what could I help you with right now? Those kind of things that are really going to help you get to know your audience, right? So now you've started this relationship, so they feel like it's kind of a two-way street. And then I would continue to send them a nurture sequence. So like I have all kinds of templates in my online course creator academy that like a nurturing sequence that you send them over a period of time to build that relationship with them. At the same time, you are engaging your Facebook group. And I totally get it when there's not big numbers in your Facebook group, or when people aren't particularly, active in there. It's really your job. It's your job for quite a while to keep it going. And so, make sure that maybe you have theme days. Maybe you have Motivation Monday where you post a motivational quote about your topic. Maybe you have Tell Me Tuesday where you ask them a question about themselves and then get them to comment, get them to engage. So, you have to be posting regularly, and I would say probably pre-scheduling all of these, maybe 3 months, at a time. So those are regularly going out. And then obviously you're in the Facebook group. So when someone's commenting, you are replying to them. You're not just ignoring them, which I see a lot of people do. It's like, hey, come join me in my Facebook group because I want a bunch of leads, but I'm not going to do anything there. So you have to make sure that you are engaging them and learning more about them. You can run polls in your Facebook group. You could have, a meetup Monday where once a month you guys all hop on a Zoom and maybe you have one question that you ask everyone, something for them to ponder or, whatever. And just get more engagement going that way. It takes work for sure. And it can be helpful to be nurturing them in that way, but you also have to remember that they're probably, in 25 other Facebook groups. So if you're not doing something that's really going to keep them interested and engaged, they're going to check out. You don't want them to do that. But at least if you do it the way that I've just suggested, you have their email and you're nurturing them through email as well, and hopefully building some kind of rapport and relationship. So I hope that was helpful, Katie. Yeah, lots to know, lots to do, but one step at a time, do one thing and then do the next thing. Okay. So that's it. That's the 4 questions we got. Those were really good questions, by the way. So thank you to those of you who did submit them. If you do want to submit a question, make sure you're on my email list. You can click on that link in the comments here, and that will take you to the form to submit a question. And that's it for today. So thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. And I will see you, if you're not part of my membership or one of my students or clients, I will see you on the first Thursday of next month when we do the same thing.